So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the panel, which is titled Investing in Tourism, Unleashing the Impact of Groundbreaking Deals and Transformative Projects. This is an international panel, so we will do the panel in English. I want to welcome my panel, Mr. Panayotis Liaros, Business Development Director of Mitsis Group, which is beside me.
Thank you.
Mr. Picas Asmarats, Investment Sector Senior Director, HIP Hotel Investment Partners. Mr. Gonzalo Garcia Lago, Partner, Hospitality Investments Azora. Mr. Leon Avigad, Founder and Co-owner and Chief Executive Officer of Brown Hotels. Leon also lives in Greece. Stephane Obadia, Founding Partner of QuinSpark. And Mr. Vassilis, Mr. Theodoros Konstantinou, sorry, it wasn't there, from Deloitte. So this is a very balanced panel. We don't have a lot of time in our disposal, so let's start immediately with the data. I want to start with Theodoros Konstantinou from Deloitte. Theodore, I wanted to ask you some questions about the market in Greece. Deloitte is a company which does a lot of deal making in Greece. Can you tell us more about the market and what are the deals that are going to be happening in the next months?
Sure. Thank you very much. First of all, thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be and an honor to be here with all my distinguished co-panelists. It is true that in the last years, thanks also to the booming tourism industry, investments in the hospitality and tourism in general in Greece have been growing in a very healthy rate. Let me put out my cheat sheet. I will bore you a bit with some figures. For example, according to the Institute of the Greek Tourism Confederation of INSETE, investments in the Greek tourism sector, in the hospitality sector, for hotel developments and refurbishments reached 2.8 billion in 2023, up from 1.5 billion in 2019. So we see a very strong growth also from year to year, because it was 2 billion in 2022. And what is most important, I think, is that most of these investments were directed to new hotel developments. For example, in 2023, the amount was 2.1 billion euros, up from 500 million for new in 2019 for new hotel developments. So we see that there is a growing appetite for investment. We see new players coming in the market. We have new players, at least for in the last years, and we have with us some of them. And what is, I think, more important is that we see a good outlook for the market. According, again, to statistics, to market data, more than 60 new hotel projects are in the pipeline and are going to enter the market until 2027, in the next 3-4 years. And what I think is also very important is the impact those investments had. I think they improve the hotel infrastructure in Greece, the service infrastructure. 5-star hotels, the number of five-star hotels, hotel units in Greece has more than doubled in the last decade. I think the percentage growth is 120%. So this is a very important step towards a more quality tourism and hospitality offering. And also what we see is the penetration of international brands, of international hotel chains, and also the growth of local strong hotel chains, hotel operators that complement this investment activity with improved hotel management capabilities that and altogether contribute to the improvement of the quality of the offering.
Excellent. We do have this kind of operators here.
Exactly.
We have two companies that have already, first of all, we have Mitsis company, and Mr. Liaros is representing Mitsis, who, of course, we know the Mitsis family, Greek, operating for a number of years. We have Leon Avigad from Brown, who has made investments in Greece, interesting investments. And also Luis Picas Asmarats has also done some investments in Greece. So let's start with the incumbent here. What is your perception of the Greek hospitality market right now? What does Mitsis Group want to do? What are your strengths, and how do you see this playing out?
Thank you. I would like to thank also Mrs. Sabrakou for the invitation and my colleagues in the panel. As Mitsis Hotels, currently we operate 8,300 rooms. We have a pipeline of 1,000 rooms in the upcoming period, and we are managing more than 700 rooms of other hotel owners or investors. We see that the Greek tourism has a brilliant decade in front, and the challenge is there. And I'm saying this because it's up to us what kind of visitors we will attract based on the experience that we will be able to provide for them. So yes, we need other people to invest in Greek products in order to make it competitive and very appealing to the clients.
Good, Leon. You are one of those investors 5 years, 6 years ago that you entered the Greek market. First of all, why did you enter the Greek market? In what way did you enter the Greek market? Because there is some differentiation, interesting differentiation. Everyone talks about five-star hotels, Santorini, etc. You have a different strategy. So did this strategy pan out?
So thank you, first of all, for having me here. And what a beautiful conference and summit. Well done and good luck. When we entered 6 years ago, when we moved in, it wasn't a big rational decision. Between Greece and Israel, there are many cultural links and touristic links. So for us to start anew, it was obvious. But then the strategy started to form in, which is not to go to the obvious places, not to go to the obvious touristic destinations, but to think of where is an upside, where is there significant already tourism infrastructure that is overlooked, that maybe was in at a certain point and is not in anymore, and maybe we can shine it up a little bit or assist in this, and the risk factor also existed. So when we took in all those three considerations and started to look, we understood that the Athens Riviera is a very interesting area for us. Loutraki is and the area is interesting, and at a certain point, back in the years, it was the shine of the tourism industry in Greece, but something happened then, and we said, we can maybe use this and work with this beautiful infrastructure. Same goes in Athens itself. So there are great places in Athens, like, I don't know, Kypseli. It's a wonderful neighborhood to invest in as residential. As a touristic infrastructure, maybe not so much. So Omonia, Exarchia, places that were seen as an faux pas, as a places that no one should go. All of a sudden, with the right branding, with the right architects, with the right community building, people are now waiting in line to get into our parties, and
you are a very interesting case because your risk appetite is very different, I think, from the other gentlemen here in the panel, which we will discuss. I mean, a big, significant risk appetite, and also you must be very nimble in the amount of investment. You go into specialized projects. This is your strategy.
funny because we see it the other way around.
Okay.
When you go to a saturated market like Mykonos or Santorini, well, the price per room ranges between 400 to the million, 400,000 to a million, then the risk is significant. When you go to the island of Evia, only 40 minutes or 1 hour drive from Athens, and the possibilities and the opportunities are there, then the risk is much, much lower. The prices are lower. You risk, when we bring investors, serious investors, and we invest on our own, but we bring people from or big companies from London, Amsterdam, Berlin. We want to mitigate this risk. And when you buy existing hotels that need some beautiful touch-up, and when my friend from Deloitte said new hotels, it's interesting to see how do you define new hotels? Hotels that were closed for 20 years, and you
Might
revamp them up.
described as a new
Are they
hotel.
new or not?
I think
Okay.
So it's an interesting factor, and I think that when you weigh all those parameters, I think that it's. You asked me if it was successful. We're very happy.
Good. Luis, you are also an investor in Greece, but you are a big investor with 37 hotels, 7 in Greece. What is your strategy about investing in Greece? It's the same with brown hotels or not? And what do you look into to make these investments? And what is the future plan for your company?
Kalimera. Good morning, everyone. I'm really happy to be invited and to share some thoughts on the hospitality industry. Before answering your questions, let me just wrap up a little bit about HIP. We were founded in 2015, so we are a 9 years old company. Started in Spain, based in Barcelona. In 2017, Blackstone invested in the company and acquired the shares. At that time, we had 16 hotels. Nowadays, we own 74 resorts in Portugal, Spain, Italy, and Greece. And we have also a new shareholder, which is GIC, the Singapore Sovereign Fund. Okay, so regarding Greece, where we entered in 2019, okay, right before the pandemic. First of all, I will tell you now about our strategy, but for us it's really important when you are in Greece. For example, I spend a couple of weeks per month in Greece, okay, and I'm driving the investments in Italy, Greece, Cyprus. For us, it's very important to have local presence. Okay, we have 7 hotels, 2 in Crete, 2 in Corfu, 2 in Zakynthos, and 1 in Halkidiki. And we have a very interesting pipeline because it's a very strategic destination for us to grow. We have less than 10% of our portfolio, and we see a lot of benefits and appetite, and we will talk about why to invest in Greece versus investing in other countries. Okay, but our strategic criteria is, out of the 74 resorts, what we are in the South Mediterranean corridor, and we want to be we are, I think, the largest real estate investors in resorts. Okay, and our DNA is resorts, quality resorts. We also have some city hotels, but in very leisure touristic destinations such as Madrid, Barcelona, Malaga. Of course, we would love to have something in Athens, and we are looking at it. And our strategy is to continue growing in the main touristic destinations in Greece, such as the ones that we are. But for example, we are not in Rhodos, we are not in the Ionian Islands, we are not, for example, in the Peloponnese, where we see also a lot of potential. Let's say, just to summarize a little bit, the rationale about investing in Greece, I think that it's a destination where it's very difficult, compared to other destinations, it's very difficult to find such a possibility to visit archaeological sites, to enjoy the ancient culture, the Mediterranean cuisine. We were also talking about Panayotis, about the safety in terms of all kinds of safety.
Safety is important. Yeah.
Safety is absolutely important for our clients. And we also believe that value for money sharing source markets, Spain and Greece, like UK, Germany. Value for money in Greece, we still can find locations and resorts that are unique with beachfront, good bones, well location, and where we can deploy our investments. For us, it's very important to invest and to acquire a property. It's extremely important to choose the right partner, the operator that drives the hotel. Today, we have 2 Greek operators and 1 international. And it's extremely also important to find, let's say, the right brand in the hotel. Okay.
Good. I want to ask, I would say, Stephane. Stephane, you represent QuinSpark with a very huge portfolio, 120 hotels globally. You are looking into Greece. You haven't invested in Greece. So what is that you are looking into Greece? I'm sure that you agree with the description of Luis about why someone should invest in Greece. And I think we do not need to go into the financial stability and stuff like that. This is all well established. So what is your take? What are your analysts saying about Greece, and what do you expect from Greece? What are the deal sizes that you're looking into, and what are the returns on investment, and what are the main obstacles?
Thank you, Konstantinos. We've invested in 120 properties, but we sold a lot. Just to correct you.
Okay.
But it's true that we've been investing quite significantly in the past 20 years in the hospitality market in Europe, and unfortunately, we never found the right investment in Greece. So for now, we're still virgin in the country. And by the way, thank you for the organizers of the event, because nothing better than meeting everyone here to get a better feel of who to know, who to meet, where to go, how to invest in the country. But it's true that 10 years ago, Greece was a very difficult place to look at. It was this country risk was everywhere in everyone's mouth, so it made it much more difficult.
Because we have very small amount of time, let's not go into why. Why now? Okay.
And now,
what are you doing now?
That what has changed. I think Minister this morning was mentioning where this country has gone and how better it is. So from a macro perspective, it makes it much easier. Lending is available at the right price. Makes it much easier also to invest, and happy to meet and discuss those people who are more involved on the lending side. But these are important components of initiating the desire to invest, but also the fundamentals in the hospitality markets. I think the whole of the Mediterranean is actually getting more and more attractive. Everyone has seen the growth in Portugal and Spain and Italy. Greece has been growing a lot, but is still somewhere behind in terms of investment volumes, investment attractivity. Although from a guest perspective, an owner perspective, traveling to Greece or owning a hotel business in Greece seems just as attractive as the other countries of the Mediterranean. So we're quite keen. Not only, we're looking at a number of opportunities in Spain or Italy, which are easy to find.
Everyone is looking at this differential. Everyone sees that we lag behind. We have good personnel, lower costs, etc. So the deal size you're looking. What do you have any preferences in your investments?
This year we've been investing. Our focus has been more France this year for.
No, for Greece. For Greece. What are you looking for?
Just to give you an example, we've been investing from deals from 20 million euro deals to north of 300 million euro deals in Paris. So we're quite open in terms of the investment size. It's true that when you go in a new country, it's hard to run a 15 million euro investment on its own. So you want a bit of volume. You also want markets like Athens, where it's easier to read how hotels are performing, how hotels are trading, and to imagine some liquidity in the market the day you want to exit. So Athens is an interesting play for us, and if anyone has opportunities they want to discuss, very welcome the opportunity to meet anyone.
Okay. Good. The liquidity is always an issue. We'll talk with Theodoros about liquidity, but first let me ask Gonzalo. Gonzalo, what are your requirements? You are also looking. I think you have one investment in Greece.
We have one in
One
Sheraton
investment.
in Rhodes.
But we have 46 investments elsewhere, so still early stages. We discussed, and you also see the same patterns like the other investors. So what are your deal sizes? What are the obstacles, perhaps? Tell us, because you've been looking. We said about liquidity. What other obstacles do you find in making more investments in Greece in the hospitality sector?
I mean, well, first of all, thank you so much for the invitation to the organizers and make me participating in this panel. I mean, when we look at Greece, I mean, Greece, I believe it has great market fundamentals. From the demand perspective, you've been growing quite significantly over the last years. You have a really diverse client base from elsewhere. I mean, everyone is coming to Greece because it's really the place to be nowadays. On the offer perspective, I think it's actually even more important because you have transformed the hospitality sector over the last 10 years. And when you look at Greece, probably 10 years ago, in terms of the quality of the product that you have, and when you look at the quality of product that you have now, the investment in the transformation of the sector has been significant. And I believe Greece has become one of the most competitive markets nowadays in the Mediterranean. The product that you have, I think, is much better than the product that eventually we have in Spain nowadays. And you have something looking ahead that is fantastic. I mean, you shouldn't feel relaxed because you are competing worldwide. Hospitality is a worldwide industry, but I think what you have here is really spectacular. In terms of making deals in Greece, I mean, we invest with thesis is we invest in leisure. So we invest in leisure across Europe. So we try to find the best combination of market dynamics that you have and also risk-adjusted returns. So actually, we need to make our target returns in this market. And our focus is basically south of Europe.
What are your target returns, please?
We are in the high double-digit returns.
High double digit. Okay, this is very important because high double-digit returns, that's rare. That's interesting. And are you finding these returns, or you have a hard time finding these returns? That's why you are not investing.
I mean, the fund that we're investing, we started in January 2021. And since then, we have bought effectively 46 hotels across Europe, 14 in Spain, 7 in Portugal, 14 in Italy, and just one here in Greece. We have been working in Greece for over the last 2 years and a half. And we have acquired the Sheraton in Rhodes, and we have been looking at different processes, sales processes, and we have actually do some due diligence in some of the assets. It's a market, I'll tell you, it's not easy. I mean, when you look at other markets across Europe, for us has been easier to deploy capital on those markets than in Greece. Still, we are working on the Greek market. We believe, as mentioned before, has great fundamentals, attractive returns, and many opportunities. But the liquidity, and that's probably the main factor, the liquidity is reduced. When you compare the institutionalization process that we have in Spain and started back in 2014 in the sand and beach sector, and the level of the institutionalization that you have here in Greece, I think is more reduced, and it's actually reduced versus Italy.
But this is a work in progress. If you all invest, I mean, the liquidity is going to be here. More about the obstacles. We talked about that when you did due diligence in projects, you found many surprises, for example. We know that because land use in Greece, it's a very complicated issue over periods of, being under the Ottoman rule and the rule of Venice and, monasteries. So what did you find?
I mean, when you look at the sand and beach sector in the south of Europe, Spain, probably not Portugal, but Spain, Italy, or Greece, I think hoteliers have been really creative, in building hotels on the beach. You cannot be that creative in building one hotel in the city of Athens or in Madrid or in Barcelona. But when you look at a big chunk of land and you build that one hotel, hoteliers can be really creative. So we have found some obstacles in terms of non-compliance with urban planning. We are not afraid of that, so we are willing to take the risk as long as we have like a proper solution that can implement it to regularize the property. We as an institutional investor, what we cannot do is buy an asset that is not compliant with the regulations. So what we need to make sure that whatever we buy, we have a path to regularize. We can buy it and regularize after the acquisition, but we need to have that path. And that is sometimes is not easy.
Okay, so Panayotis, the investment environment in Greece has considerably improved as we established. What more can be done to attract more investments in the Greek tourism sector?
Panayotis or Thodoros?
Sorry, Thodoros.
Okay.
We're not ready.
Thank you for the question.
Thodoros.
It is true that we have progressed a lot in the last years in terms of creating a more investor-friendly environment. For tourism, for hospitality in particular, I think there is a variety of parameters that we need to look into. First of all, I think the most important, or one of the most important, is to have a safe, stable, transparent framework around spatial planning, urban planning. I think what troubles a lot our investors and all investors in terms of what they're going to find when they do the technical.
Are things being done there? Is it progressing? Because let's talk
as far
about
as we know, for example, the National Special Plan is pending since 2017. We are expecting, if I'm not mistaken, in September to be completed. So that will be very important. Urban plans are still pending in many areas in Greece. I'm optimistic that things will progress faster than in the past, but this is very important.
Next.
The second, for sure, is access to financing. I think we have improved a lot.
What is the problem now? Why? What's the problem?
I think we have improved a lot in the last years. The banks, the systemic banks, have created specialized teams and departments. There is liquidity in the banks. The RRF. There is.
I don't see this as a huge problem. It's improving.
But it's improving. But it's a major fact.
Okay.
Another thing for me, very, very important, and sometimes we overlook it, is investors will come, investments will come when we have an attractive destination, and when we have a destination, a tourist destination, I mean, that really is one of the top, which is in terms of the fundamentals, but we need to improve the infrastructure, how we manage destinations, and things are improving, but we have a lot of work to do there in terms of water supply, the natural resources in general, waste management. Of course, the airports have improved, but we have a lot to do in terms of the road infrastructure, of course, the rail infrastructure, the ports and the marinas. Okay. So we have a lot to do in terms of infrastructure. And last but not least, where we can gain as a country a competitive advantage towards attracting investments is the human factor. Globally, there is a strong scarcity of staff personnel, especially in the tourism sector. Could we turn as a country this around? Of course, it's very difficult, but could we make this risk, this weakness, can we turn it into a strength by building,
excellent. This
by cultivating, let's say, our
very, very good way to go to Panayotis, because Panayotis and the Mitsis company operate in Greece. So tell us, what would you need more about infrastructure? What happens with personnel? And generally speaking, what are the problems as you perceive it as an established player?
Well, I don't want to repeat. Thodoros described very well all the obstacles, and especially permitting urbanistic and all these issues when you are investing in new developments, and especially in greenfield, because in Mitsis we do make acquisitions of existing hotels, but a huge plan for our investments has to do with greenfields, and the problems there are 3 times higher than just buying an old hotel and refurbish it. Now about personnel, which for me is a driving force of hospitality, because these are the ambassadors of our product, and they are creating the experience to the clients along with facilities. we have to take very big decisions in order to avoid to lose the Greeks from the industry, because many young people, they don't choose tourism anymore to invest as an occupation for their future. So we need to bring back a little bit of stardust to this profession, because it's a very nice profession to work in tourism, and create schools, create working environments, create all is necessary to convince young people to start working for back to the tourism.
You should do what Brown does. Tell us about your initiative, Leon.
So it's double factored. The lack of good team members. We don't have staff at Brown. We have team members. We have brownies. Was significant last year, and we decided to collaborate with BCA, one of Greece's leading hospitality schools, the Daskalakis families, and to form the Brown Academy. And we train our own team, and we think that the hospitality formation shouldn't be only a Swiss or a British thing. We have 36 million visitors a year, looking at 45 for the next decade. We can export our expertise as Greek hospitality executives. And I think that this Brown Academy can really bring young people from all over the world, from all over Europe, to study in Greece and then to keep working with us. So this is an initiative that we're working very hard. I'd like also to state something about the infrastructure. It comes out to no water. I would like to be very basic and pinpointed. In some of our resorts, we find it very hard to hydrate our gardens and lawns. And don't get me wrong, our landscape consultants are all Greek locals. We do not try to turn it into a golf course like in more less Mediterranean countries. We are adjusted to this climate, and still no water. And in the middle of the summer, we cannot hydrate our lawns. So we do what we can to overcome this challenge. But if we want more five-star resorts, if we want to, the second phase of hospitality, the second phase of the foreign investment into Greece, we need to think on a national level, how do we improve our infrastructure when it comes to roads, water, local airports. There's still the investments are great, but still a lot can be done more from the government, and the government and Greece will see it back in foreign investments, in improvement of the actual workforce.
Okay, good. Now, Thodoros, I can also ask you about the special concepts, because you do a lot of consulting. Have you seen interest from investors for new concepts that target different visitor segments and other differentiated experiences?
Yes, it is true. Of course, most of the investments are directed towards hotel investments, new hotel developments, resorts, mixed-use resorts currently with more residential elements. But we see interest, maybe not so much from private equities or real estate development, but more from private investors to explore new concepts, like for senior living communities, or more towards the wellness, or even the medical wellness part of the spectrum of medical tourism, more towards green eco tourism. So new tourism concepts translated into hospitality concepts. And what would be interesting is how it will play the mix, let's say, between hospitality and other types of tourism. For example, we've seen Four Seasons entering the yachting market with Four Seasons yachts, and they cruise the Mediterranean, the Greek islands, at least I think this year as well. So waiting to see how this will play out, but also waiting to hear the investors themselves if they are looking into different concepts or the hotel.
Okay, so this is a big opportunity for Greece. Greece is a small country, and as our panelists have also concluded, there is a differentiation between big destinations like Spain, etc., mass tourism. So if we create custom experiences, I don't know if your funds will be able to capitalize on those opportunities because you're big funds. But perhaps Luis can tell us, because you have an office, Luis, in Athens, in Greece. Does it help to have an office here?
Definitely it helps. As I said, we entered in 2019, and the first thing we did and we were extremely happy with the acquisition, even afterwards. We had the pandemic because at the end we are very long-term investors, so we don't sell. Having an office in Athens help us in many ways. Of course, first of all, in order to source opportunities on the destinations that we are targeting, which are the ones I mentioned before, it help us in order to do the proper asset management, to take care of the hotels that are up and running, and it also help us because when you are doing construction works, and our business model is doing construction works, you need to be on site. Okay, so it's very helpful, and also to be honest, since we are talking about investment in Greece, and we have done 7 acquisitions, sorry. Let's say what you need in order to invest in Greece, it's patience. Okay, this is what you really need. Okay, it's the most important thing. You need patience because at the end, Greece is very fragmented. Okay, and there are 4 main groups: Mitsis, Atlantica, Greek Hotel, and the rest is fragmented and in the hands of the families. And the families are the ones that decide when they sell. It's not you as an investor. Okay, so you need patience and you need to be, let's say, very respectful with these issues that we are really dealing with. Then you need patience because when you will start into the due diligence, you also will, as Gonzalo was saying, you will find issues that you, as an institutional investor, you need to solve. But you will find many type of issues. Okay, you will find the seashore line. You will have to go to IPATE. There are some legalizations that need to be done on things that when you exceed billability before 2011. So you need patience because there are too much bureaucracy, in my opinion. Okay, and finally, just wanted to add, we were talking about employees. Okay, I think that Greece doesn't need to compete in volume in terms of number of arrivals because, to be honest, the demand is there. I think what you need to compete is in the quality. Okay, and you are much better position than any other competitor.
Very, very important. In
order to fight for quality, and you are doing the right thing. So, but when you talk about quality, and in our case, we always invest in 3 or 4-star resorts, and we upgrade them to a 5-star affordable luxury. You cannot provide quality to the guest if you don't have a good service. Okay, and the service will be delivered by the employees. Okay, so we are going back to what we were talking. We need to protect the employees. In our case, for example, we are trying to provide staff housing. We are acquiring hotels because this is we know it's important for our employees. You need to provide career opportunities, which is something that it's happening. In our case, for example, we had a local operator, Domes Hotels. For them, it was extremely important to provide access to other countries, and we acquired a hotel in Portugal, and we take them to Portugal. And the reality is that they are doing extremely well. Okay, so what Leon was saying about the possibility to expand, I totally agree with you. Okay.
Excellent. And we as a company, I represent ethosGROUP, which has the Greek Hospitality Awards. We've been measuring for about 11 years the trend of hospitality in Greece. I think Mitsis has also been awarded some years back. So we see a market increase in the quality of services. So this is very, very important. But you do need, and I wish you all patience, good luck in Greece, because sometimes luck is important when you're in a due diligence
Siga is the
situation.
main word.
Siga, 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 yeah. Leon lives in Greece, you can tell. You need good consultants like Deloitte and good operators like Mitsis. I think this is a creme de la creme panel. Since we are running out of time, I want to address each one of you in a free form. What would you like to share with our audience, Theodore?
I think we need to be very optimistic about Greek tourism, Greek hospitality, but also realistic in terms of what we need to do, and there are a lot of things that we need to do as a country, as a private sector, advisors, investors, etc., in order to attract more and more investments that are what Greek tourism needs: sustainable investments, quality investments from quality investors.
Good. Stephane?
I think we see today or today a lot of energy and a lot of great things happening in Greece. For us, maybe the little stone we can bring to everything happening is for all these families who own hotels, or Mitsis groups or others who are in a good position to continue creating the new hotels. We may be here to take over some of the hotel, the existing assets, invest in the market. We won't be able to do greenfield developments, but we hope to be able to acquire existing hotels and help existing owners to see liquidity in the market and jump on other opportunities while we expand our presence here. So we'll be very happy to discuss any investment opportunities with anyone in the room.
Okay, Leon?
Speak to Liaros.
You know, I closed a lot of deals here. Joanna must pay me some commissions.
Commission.
Leon?
We're very dynamic and we're very optimistic. We have 8 to 10 hotels in the pipeline, and that depends if you're looking at the 2 or 3 years ahead. Some of them as owners, some of them as a management company running hotels for private individuals. We're very optimistic when we see the results, the P&Ls of the first quarter and the second quarter, not yet finalized, but we are very optimistic for this year. We're just looking for stability to deepen the investment and to look at the second phase of investment. We're still asked about the first investment that we've done 6, 5, and 4 years ago. Now the second phase of investments are coming into the existing hotels. We're established already. Satisfaction rate is high, and I think that we're now maturing. We look at this investment as a more mature investment and very optimistic doing so.
Okay, Gonzalo.
I mean, I'm really positive about the Greek market. I mean, you have great fundamentals, as mentioned before, and you have done the homework over the last years. You need to keep pushing. There's a lot to be done in the future, but you're in a really strong position going forward. And as from the private equity or from the investor perspective, as Stephane was mentioning, I mean, we're here to help. We help in creating or generating more liquidity to owners, to families that they don't know, they own assets, and they eventually have succession problems. They have the energy or they're willing to keep growing, and they just need the capital to keep acquiring assets, or they don't know what to do with their lives, and they meet us, and then they may eventually find the right solution. So, and then third probably is that we push operators to become better. I think we push them in reporting, we push them in trying to make decisions more analyzed and more thorough. So we are here to help in the sector. We have done that in Spain, we are doing that in Italy, we're doing that in Germany. So I think Greece has a great opportunity to keep transforming itself and keep with its competitive position in the Mediterranean market.
Excellent. Luis?
Yes, very quickly. First of all, I think that the Greek citizens need to feel very proud about the Greek hospitality in general terms, okay, and take advantage of the opportunity that we're talking about. Having said that, it's important also not to relax, okay, to make sure that you have invested in there are new infrastructure coming, like Castelli, Hellenikon is a reality, but focus and don't relax, continue investing in infrastructure, and make sure that the service and the value for money of the guest is the right one. Because if you are relaxed, and it happens in very specific destinations in Greece, and the value for money is not accurate, other destinations will be there in order to attract these guests. Okay, so that has happened in Santorini, Mykonos. Now Paros is growing, Milos is growing. So take the advantage. The future is great, but don't relax.
And last but not least, Panayotis.
Well, I want to start where Luis concludes, and I want to address my fellow colleagues in the panel and any investor at the audience that you should focus a little bit more in greenfields. Greenfields maybe is a little bit more difficult, but they will give you higher returns, and they will grow the destination in general. It's not only Crete, it's not only roads, it's not only coast, it's the regions and the airports around the regions that if you invest now, you will have good values, purchasing the land and the projects and high returns. That's my proposal to you. Don't buy only all existing hotels. Buy some land and invest in greenfield projects.
Excellent. I want to thank Ioanna for giving ethosGROUP this opportunity, and me personally to have partaken in this panel. Thank you for my esteemed panelists. Everyone is a very, very important person in this landscape for Greek hospitality. As a company, as ethosGROUP, you know that we do a lot of organizations ourselves. We will also welcome you at our Greek Real Estate Investment Forum in September, which we want to turn into the Greek MIPIM. So thank you very much, and we are all at your disposal after this panel.
Thank you, Konstantinos.